What's going on, sandboxers? We have a new blog post for this week, and I think that this update is going to be very exciting for a lot of you that have been, rightfully so, complaining about stuff. So let's just get right into it. Garry starts this week's blog post by talking about review filtering. Garry added a new review system, which was covered last week, where he had added both positive and negative tags. This week, he has started using those reviews and their tags to help with game discovery. So now you could filter by star rating. The star rating is generated from a combination of thumbs up and thumbs down in actual review ratings. Garry's hope is that it's intuitive enough for people to find games and other people have enjoyed instead of having to fight their way through games that no one likes. He also states that you can filter by prominent review tags as well. An example of this is you might want to play a game where everyone agrees universally that the story was standout or where everyone liked the graphics. So hopefully that will be a lot easier now. Speaking about reviews filtering, I do think that it would be kind of cool to see some sort of curator's game list from the community where you can see what people are recommending in terms of if they like horror games or other genres. And again, just have a curated list of games to choose from. I know that there has been tons of people telling me that they love to see a list of games that I would recommend somewhere, but they can't really find or access that anywhere, and there isn't a way to do this at the moment. But again, I do understand that this might take a lot of work, and I'm just one person asking for this request. So if you do think that this would be a cool idea, definitely leave a comment below. And the one that most of you have been waiting for. Garry has said that there has been a lot of changes to the workshop so that they can identify and discourage the AI slop. Our moderators can now mark packages as having AI thumbnails, which will reduce their prevalence in the lists and searches. Garry understands why people would want to use AI to generate the thumbnails since it makes it easier and faster, but it has massive downsides of making everything look the same, so they're actively discouraging it. Garry has also added a warning to the thumbnail page about this. Meta has added not one, but 3 upscalers for this week based on the ones that ship by default with Valve's deadlock. While they're not going to improve performance in every game or on all hardware, as mostly games will vary in performance from developers as they have to work on them, they're not a complete replacement for real optimization work that obviously needs to be done. But this is a good option for some people, according to Matt, as he has a list of upscalers which are Stretch, FSR1, and FSR3. They are looking at adding DLSS next, but this is all that they have at the moment. And Matt closes this one by saying, and absolutely no frame generation. Thank God. Lorenz has added an open mic option in the sound settings. For anyone who's paranoid, they've also added an option to completely disable microphone input. Nice. Okay, so this next one is a long one, but Garry does talk about S&box Steam reviews, and I'll be doing my best to summarize it up a bit. So Garry mentions that the Steam reviews aren't great. They're actually painful for Facepunch. They've showed them that they have made missteps in the release, which, side tangent, honestly, it's a little bit odd hearing this, given that they could have just taken better precautions on how they should have launched the game. So this kind of seems a little weird hearing this, but at least they're obviously aware. 35% of reviews compared S&box to Garry's mod, which is a given. Garry's response to this was he understands why people are doing this, as they wanted an iteration of Garry's mod onto the source engine. This includes also wanting the source 2 SDK and more, as they didn't want an engine in a platform. The rest of this paragraph talks more about S&box. That is obviously its biggest selling points that most of these people who are pointing this out will probably look over, which is understandable, but again, that's just the tone of this specific response. He does mention that his real hope is eventually everyone will realize that S&box is a much better way to work for developers and that they'll end up with much better content because of it. But moving on, 27% of reviews think that they're missing workshop integration. This part talks about how people are adjusted to how Garry's mod workshop system worked, but Facepunch and Garry are aware that there's probably something in that for certain types of mods that they're looking into. He mentions that the S&box mode that comes with S&box already has a workshop integrated into the mode. So if you want a weapon or NPC, you could just click it and it appears. He says that it appears like if they're shipping the game with all of this stuff, but they're not. Anyone can make these entities and publish them for anyone to use. 24% of reviews complained about the AI slop, which Garry has already addressed this before, but he says it's not their intention to encourage games created using AI. It's not their intention to encourage people to make terrible little no effort games, but it's a user generated content platform. There's always going to be dog shit. What they're trying to do is remove obvious trolls, discourage it, and make sure that it doesn't keep floating to the top. 20% of reviews complain about performance, which they are actively working on at the moment. 12% of reviews complained about NFTs, which is kind of funny. Garry has no idea what this is all about and says we don't have NFTs or blockchain stuff and never will. Half of the people that reviewed negatively went on to play more of S&box. 6% of them played for over 10 hours, and one French dude had played over 280 hours after posting their negative review. And that leads us right into the lightning round. Physics have been updated to the latest version of Box 3D. New mapping tools, Boolean, Vertex Extrude, Vertex Select Loop, Texture to Face tool, and Texture tool vertex mode have been added. Explosives now explode on impact, which is awesome. Gizmo handle preferences have been added. Physics scene.trace.cone has been added. New player anim graph parameters have also been added. Now, with some closing thoughts, this is a much needed change with AI thumbnails that now can be flagged. Most of you have been asking for it, and they finally have added it. On top of that, we also have new review filters that help you properly filter out games by ratings, and even by what others have found good with the games that they like, such as gameplay and even graphics. To clarify a bit more, because I do talk about both good and bad with S&box, again, it's very odd to hear that Garry is now mentioning about these missteps that were taken after its release, which again, I don't know the entire process of release, but feels more of like a damage control response to the backlash, which is a given, but at least most of the stuff is now getting fixed. Hopefully this will enhance not only the quality of games that will be pushed directly onto the Discover page, but also help many others who will actively find good games on S&box to push them to the top where they belong. Now, all we have to do is just get better performance improvements, and I think we'll start seeing even more cool stuff and more people possibly trying out the game again. That's all I really have for this video. Let me know your thoughts down below. Is this something that is a step in the right direction or not? Let me know, like, dislike, all that other good stuff. Check out the video here on screen, and I will see you then in the next one.